off at number 10 now, we have the Safe House. On May 5th, 2017, the YouTube channel Shy posted a video of him discovering and exploring a fully stocked underground safe house. He found it while walking through the grounds of an old factory in the industrial area of his city. As he was exploring, he discovered a strange concrete block with a metal gate on the side of it. He opened it and climbed the ladder. There, he found a dark, small tunnel leading to an underground bomb shelter and safe house. And what you're seeing here is the results of that exploration. The room seems to have been abandoned, but was also scavenged for valuables before its owners left. Some of the rooms contain old-looking military posters written in Russian. Many of the posters were mounted behind glass on a wall and lit up. I also find it strange that this place still has electricity. Other rooms contain boxes of supplies and equipment, enough for dozens of people. Why did they need those supplies? What were they planning? And perhaps most importantly, where are those people now? Moving on to number 9 now, we have The People Above. This video was uploaded in October 2017 by the YouTube channel Probs. They visited this underground bunker, but 5 of their friends ended up turning back eventually. That's how creepy it got. They said that continuing to explore it just as 2 was the worst decision they'd ever made and that it was terrifying. After following brick hallways filled with pipes, the rooms eventually began to open up. They still had no idea what the bunker was used for. There were strange holes in the floor that revealed another space below. It appeared that they were standing on just a thin bit of concrete. When the others left, the vibe got even creepier. Their bravery was rewarded though when they found a secret area where it seemed like the ceiling had actually caved in. The nervous laughter turned to genuine fear though when they heard someone else nearby.
I can hear someone on top of us.
It wasn't long before they decided to get out of there before they run into whoever or whatever was down there with them. Coming in at number 8 now, we have the water plant. In March 2018, an underground bunker in southwest England made the news when it went on sale for £28,000. That's about $36,500 for our American viewers. Is that a good price for an underground bunker? Maybe, but just wait until you see the inside. The bunker was built underneath an old water plant that had been decommissioned and largely forgotten about since the 1960s. It was bought by a man who wanted to turn it into a hostel or, wait for this, a mausoleum to store the ashes of dead people. Okay then, as you can see from these pictures, it certainly had the right vibe for that. The rusting hallways and corroded rooms are being slowly reclaimed by nature. Moss and grass is now creeping over the old machines and corrugated walls. The owner said it isn't even suitable for residential living, and yeah, I think most people would agree. Moving on to number 7 now, we have Hello Satan. In 2014, 2 men in Germany were out exploring some woods when they found 2 strange pipes just sticking out of the ground. As they got closer, they found the entrance to a bunker surrounded by trees. They prized the wooden lid off using a crowbar and found an iron door. They went through that and followed a sort of dark hospital looking corridor for what felt like forever. Other pathways appeared, but they decided to keep going straight so they didn't get lost on their way back. There were holes in the wall that appeared to be made by a hammer. Eventually, they started to find strange graffiti on the walls and realized they weren't the first people to discover this bunker. Now at first, it seemed like the kind of graffiti that just some kids would do for fun, but then the writing seemed to get more sinister when they found some graffiti that just said "help." Then they found a huge yellow door that seemed to have been ripped off its hinges. They didn't think it was possible for a person to do this. It looked about as heavy as a bank vault door. After that point, the room seemed to look more and more decayed. Eventually they found some graffiti that, in German, read "Hello Satan, I love you." Now that is when they knew they had seen enough. They quickly retraced their steps and left the underground bunker. Next up at number 6 now, we have Mothman's Lair. Those of you who have watched a lot of my urban legends videos over the years will have heard me talk about the Mothman, a creepy half man, half moth creature that was seen across West Virginia during the late 1960s. The locals said that the Mothman had a secret lair that only a few people knew about, the TNT bunkers in Point Pleasant. In 2016, 2016, Dan Bell uploaded a YouTube video of him and a friend exploring these abandoned bunkers. They had to make their way through pitch black marshes and woods until eventually they found the entrance to the bunker. Slowly, they headed inside in silence. The old walls were covered with graffiti, many of them making reference to the legend of the Mothman. There was also this satanic graffiti that said "Burn the Witch" and also 666.
That echo is insane.
After a short walk through the woods, they came across another bunker with similar writing on the wall. Needless to say, they didn't find the Mothman, but there are 2 other videos in their Mothman Lair series if you guys want to go check them out. Moving on to number 5 now, we have Urban Geeks. These are the guys who uploaded a video in May 2018 showing a creepy bunker they found in England. After exploring the surface level for a while, they eventually do go underground.
A nice bunker for everyone. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh yeah, like the little blast shields and stuff. Do you want to get the 2 torches out?
It gets darker and darker, the graffiti becomes more difficult to read, the walls look like they're crumbling around them, and then they see this.
Oh my god, how freaky is that? No, look at this. Maggot #2. They've actually tagged the machinery as maggots. Like, I don't know if this is gonna...
That's right, some graffiti telling them that they are being watched. Now your natural reaction if you saw this may be to just dismiss it as a joke, but part of you would still be wondering if someone really did live in that complex, watching every person that passed through, and perhaps never made it out. Eventually, the temperature actually started to plummet in there, and they decided to get out of there. Next up at number 3 now, we have the Führer bunker. Now those of you who are up on your history will recognize this name immediately as the last headquarters of Adolf Hitler during World War II in Berlin and the place where he committed suicide. It's where Hitler made his last-ditch attempts to save his Nazi regime as the armies of the Allies rolled towards Berlin. Like I said, Hitler killed himself, the Allies soon won the war after that, and the Soviets spent the next 4 years destroying Nazi landmarks. They tried to blow up the bunker but only partially succeeded. In more modern times, German authorities dismantled everything else and built a car park on top of it. You wouldn't even know you were there if you walked past it. This has been done intentionally in an attempt to stop the area becoming a neo-Nazi shrine. Moving on to number 2 now, we have the medical bunker. In July 2016, the YouTube channel Hell on Earth posted a video of them exploring an abandoned underground World War II medical bunker in Sheffield, England. Before going in there, they were told it was used as an air raid shelter for people trying to hide from German bombs and also to treat the wounded. One of the first things they found was some sort of melted candle thing or egg yolk. I don't know, you take a look, it's hard to tell.
Candle that's gone all rotten.
How can wax go rotten?
That's not a candle, that looks like grease.
There's probably someone's innards.
I think it's egg yolk. Oh, fry up, boys.
Oh, reeks.
Then things start to take a bit of a creepy turn when the guys hear a strange knocking sound in the background.
But this is where I came in.
What? What's that knocking noise?
Shine the light down.
Alright. What, a real...
The group carries on as far as they can, but eventually there are huge parts of the ceiling that have just caved in from the ground above. I was wondering what would come after if they kept exploring past that bit, but they didn't. They turned around and went out. Maybe they'll return one day. And finally, number 1 now, we have the secret forest door. This video was uploaded by a World War II history hunter channel in 2016 who explores old World War II sites. This one was an old German bunker. Now he's visited the site before this video, but this time he brought the equipment.
You can see that there are definitely tracks of human activity. This is built and we can go a bit further in before we can put on the...
The bunker looks to be in bad condition. Decades of water pouring in has corroded the iron and turned the wooden beams to pulp. He then finds a long hallway where the walls have metal bars coming right out of them. He guesses that this is because there used to be doors there before. Where they are now, he doesn't know. As he heads deeper into the bunker, the lack of light makes it almost impossible to film, and we have to rely solely on his verbal descriptions. He enters a huge room with stalactites coming down from the ceiling. He sees another door which leads to an area with more stairs.
How many stairs? 20, 30? There's a lot of them. Cool. This is the lookout position from the outside here. This is on the other side of where the hatch was.
These stairs actually seem to be built into the very living rock. Whatever the Germans were planning for this bunker during World War II, they wanted it to withstand a lot of firepower.
Number 10, we have Wolf's Lair. Well, one of the most unsettling things about this bunker is the fact that it was home to none other than Adolf Hitler. For over 800 days during World War II, it was within these steel-enforced concrete walls where he made all sorts of sickening decisions, such as the invention of the death camps. During the time of its operation, it spanned 6.5 square kilometers and housed upwards of 2,000 people. Some of these people were even forced to eat his food to make sure that it wasn't poisoned. I couldn't find any information if anyone died in these walls, but knowing what he was capable of, I wouldn't be surprised at all. A large portion of this lair was destroyed when Germany was defeated, but it remains today as a popular tourist destination. Next up, number 9 is the Greenbrier Bunker. Hidden directly beneath the popular Greenbrier Resort is a bunker that was kept secret from the public for over 30 years. Honestly, I understand why it was kept in secret. If the public ever found out that the government made a bunker just for the elite and not for you, well, that would be problematic. I'd imagine you'd be pretty mad. Apparently this bunker is the size of a Walmart, has rows of 1,100 bunk beds, which would make for the most mature sleepover ever, and it has an air filtration system, and it's so powerful that it apparently feels like walking into a vacuum. The construction of this bunker was based on countless lies, telling the workers that they were making a space for a made-up company, and holding meetings for other organizations to keep up the appearance. Throughout the 30 years that it was kept secret, it had to be constantly maintained and restocked with food and medicine. It was eventually exposed in 1992. Well, if it wasn't exposed in 1992, it would probably still be a secret today. It would be the secret Doomsday bunker for US government officials. But you know what? Now we know about it. We know where you're about to go, Donald Trump. And at number 8 is the bunkers of Narvik. This series of bunkers is said to be haunted by the ghost of German soldiers named Hans. And he died in one of them after having his foot blown off during World War II. Absolutely insane. It is said to be, to this day, he still wants to take over the Norwegian town of Narvik. One traveler and author, Robin Esrock, was brave enough to venture out there with the intention of camping out in one of the bunkers. She mentioned that approaching the entrance felt like she was invading history, with the concrete tunnels and rusted barbed wire acting as a welcome mat. She even found an old spoon with a swastika engraved in it. An old couple who lived close by said that thousands of Nazis used to use the bunkers during the war, which no doubt left some bad energy in there. Esrock ultimately decided to pitch a tent, and they pitched the tent just outside of the bunker instead of sleeping inside, because she felt like there was too much of like a ghostly presence. Coming in at number 7 is a forgotten bunker in northern Germany. When a couple of guys were kids, they used to play in a section of forest that had strange pipes just sticking out of the ground. While they weren't allowed to investigate them when they were young, they decided to return as adults. I mean, this sounds a little bit like a movie. Well, they did some digging up, like literally, and actually found a secret hatch. They found a labyrinth of corridors in varying stages of decay, many of which had graffiti on it. One of them actually translated to, "Hello, Satan, I love you." I mean, it's a little bit creepy if you ask me. One of the strangest things in there was actually a huge bank vault type door that looked as if it'd been ripped open from its hinges. I mean, what could have possibly have done that? Maybe some sort of creature. There were also discarded articles of clothing left behind for who knows how long it's been there for. After investigating further with no answers and one large mysterious machine in the middle of the room, their camera died and they decided to make their way out. Luckily, they didn't take too many turns, so they didn't get lost. So they were actually able to find the exit. Even so, something about that mysterious bunker definitely gave them the creeps. Number 6 is the Kelvin Dunn Hatch bunker. This is another one intended to house government officials, but this one is in the UK, so the British government officials. It was built secretly in 7 months during the Cold War, but it was later sold in a private auction. I mean, is this real life right now? Who is buying a bunker? The exterior is built to look like a house, to be unassuming to everyone who stumbled upon it. You won't recognize it as a bunker. Well, today, a lot of people have stumbled upon it because it's become a tourist attraction. You can visit this bunker, you can zip line in there, you can even play paintball. Like all bunkers, the interior of it begins with a long, dark hallway. Because it's a tourist spot now, it isn't quite as suspended in time as the other bunkers on this list, but rooms full of detailed plans on how to survive a nuclear Armageddon make sure that the terrifying original use for the bunker is unknown. Everything that was original still remains for the most part, and the things that have remained, I'm talking about the confidential papers thrown around as it was left behind in a rush. Judging by the pictures, it doesn't seem as if this was abandoned intentionally or calmly. Mannequins were dressed in old gas masks, and others positioned with badges over their eyes as if they had stared directly into the blast. Add to the unsettling vibe of the place, people who visit say that it does an amazing job of showing how depressing it was to live in a bunker, waiting for the inevitable of time or even food to run out. I wonder if back then if they were so worried about toilet paper. Meeting us at the halfway point is the Cheyenne Mountain Complex. Honestly, the scariness of this bunker begins before you even enter the massive mountain in which exists. At the gates, they have a TV playing, Fox News? Oh, and guards who say that they will kill you if necessary to protect the bunker. I mean, cool. Well, according to the guards who spend long hours there, apparently the only thing that you get used to, you know, knowing of the outside is what you see on TV. Okay, there are 2 massive doors ready to shut out any potential outside threats, rooms filled with bunk beds, and there's also ready to eat non-perishable meals. There's even a workout room that's ready to convert into a hospital whenever necessary. Our number 4 slot belongs to Mount Weather. These 600,000 square foot of underground facilities have their own police force, firefighters, and laws. It's a whole city on its own. I kind of want to know what sort of laws a massive underground bunker could have. Are they similar to ours, or are they completely different? It even has its own hospital, a crematorium, and can sleep up to 2,000 people. I mean, can you imagine having to live in a mountain and know that whenever someone dies, they're just cremated, you know, not too far from you, maybe in the room next door? Like, where does the smell even go? If the airflow was designed in a way as to not let any radiation in, I can't imagine there's much room to let smell out. Next up, number 3 is actually in our very own city, in Toronto, Canada. As it turns out, there's a mysterious bunker that no one knows the origins of. And I didn't even know until doing the research for this video. It was found 5 years ago close to York University. It isn't big by any means, measuring only 1 meter by 10 meters, but the mystery behind it makes it all more spooky. Police are even impressed with the structural integrity of it, which means that it wasn't made by an amateur. Inside there was even waterproof lights, noise cancelling foam, a pump to get rid of water, and an air compressor. Whoever built this, they must have had somewhat long-term plans for it if they were willing to invest that much money. There was even a rosary and a Remembrance Day poppy in there. I mean, who leaves personal items somewhere that they're just planning on abandoning? Police claim that they don't expect anything criminal, but I'm not sure if I'm convinced. Number 2 is the Drake Low tunnels. And no, this isn't the tunnels that Drake owns. Well, maybe, I don't know. There are a top secret military bomb shelter completed in the 40s. You can still find old phones and computers that were left there after the shelter was decommissioned. Old papers and other artifacts of the time, well, they're littering the ground and falling out of decaying cupboards, almost as if they're abandoned in a rush. It even attracts the attention of paranormal groups and ghost hunters, which makes my imagination go crazy, which some sort of stuff that might have happened there. Also, apparently technology goes crazy down there, generally misbehaving or dying, which if you've seen some of our paranormal themed videos on this channel, you know that usually means that there are ghosts. Finally, number 1, we have North Carolina's bomb shelter. This was a shelter found under somebody's home in North Carolina, I kid you not. Imagine finding out that under your house was a secret bunker. Well, apparently this was hand dug almost 70 years ago to hide from an atomic bomb. The tunnels go 30 feet underground, and apparently you can find children's shoes, strange photos, you can find super old mayonnaise, and the darkest darkness you've ever experienced. The previous owner of the house said that she enjoyed having the tunnels there, but I feel like if I discovered an old bomb shelter under my house, it'd be pretty unsettling, and it's time to sell. But don't tell people about it, unless that brings the value up. Then I'll do it.
Oh, hi there, number 10. Say hello to this disco bunker. This is my kind of mid-apocalypse party. This Russian Cold War bunker has been turned into a club, although it would still serve as a nuclear hideout should D-Day ever come. Bunker 42 charges $1,000 a ticket to nuclear parties, and attendees can enjoy fun 180 feet below the ground in Moscow. Yes, the price of salvation is pretty expensive, but disco lights. The bunker was built in 1956, but still is as strong as an ox and can house up to 300 guests. I think this is the perfect place to dance nuclear threats away. Coming into number 9, we have Vivos Europa 1. Ever wondered where millionaires bunker down in times of nuclear fallout? Wonder no longer as you gaze upon the wonders that is Vivos Europa 1. This is said to be one of the biggest underground bunkers in the world. Described as a 5-star shelter, the bunker is innocuously located in the German village of Rothenstein. The luxury underground living space can survive more than just a nuclear attack. It's also able to withstand earthquakes, tsunamis, regular bombs, plane crashes, and chemical attacks. The bunker has restaurants, gyms, pools, cinemas, and private apartments. That's all very well and good, but what if residents don't live anywhere near the bunker prior to D-Day? Well, no worries. The bunker has a number of travel routes, including helicopter pads and rail tracks. Residents will be sent for and collected before being placed under lockdown. It's not advertised how much an apartment costs, but the complex is said to be worth over $1 billion. Coming into number 8, we have a Swiss Alps house bunker. I mean, if nuclear war means I can live in Villa Vals, then maybe it would be okay after all. Although I guess it would be less great for those outside this luxury home that doubles as a bunker. Very useful. Villa Vals is a house bunker tucked away in the Swiss Alps. Access to the villa is only possible via an underground tunnel that starts in an old barn, so it's very secretive and I can get on board with that. I do have some concerns about the glass windows during a nuclear attack, although I'm sure that the architects thought about that. They're probably nuclear attack proof, if that's a thing. Coming into number 7, we have the JFK Vacation Bunker. Not only is this a cool bunker, it's a piece of history. John F. Kennedy was a huge part of the Cold War, and the American president had what he called his last resort. Dubbed Operation Hotel, JFK had a secret bunker in his favorite vacation spot just off Palm Beach in Florida. Built on a little island called Peanut Island, the bunker had room for 30 members of the JFK staff or his family, so plenty of room for all to survive an attack. It's actually still there today and serves as a very popular tourist spot. It might not look as luxury compared to some of the other bunkers on this list, but the whole thing was built in just 10 days. It all happened in 1961 and can still withstand nuclear attack. Had he ever used it, the bunker would have been America's temporary mission control center, which is pretty cool. Coming into number 6, everybody loves a Doomsday castle. Doomsday is here! Luckily I have me a castle to wait out the nuclear holocaust. Wait, castle? I mean, don't you think that that's just taking things a little bit far there, Brenda? Meet the Bruns, a family who built a castle in South Carolina as preparation for Doomsday, whatever that may mean. The castle runs without electricity and has a bunker underneath it in case of nuclear attack. The bunker has enough food to last them for a year and is totally fireproof. The family even had their own show on National Geographic, aptly called Doomsday Castle. By the way, they're also very, very ready to defend it with guns and everything, because America. Pandemics, solar flares, nuclear attacks, no worries, this Kansas luxury badger retreat is here to help at number 5. It's not actually called a badger retreat, but badgers live underground, so I thought I'd come up with a fun name for it. This $2 million complex is a luxury home actually built in a former missile silo. So this is a place that was used to store an intercontinental ballistic missile. If it used to store missiles, I'm guessing it's pretty safe. If you want to wait out the apocalypse in style, this is the place for you. The condo complex even has a synthetic beach. The bunker will also have a theatre and a pool because you ain't no one unless swimming is a priority during a nuclear attack. Am I right? If you're looking at some of these bunkers thinking, cool, but you know what? Maybe I'm too poor to survive a nuclear attack. Guys, don't worry, there is a budget shelter out there for you. Check out this pipe bunker at number 4. For only 60,000 bucks, you can bunker down in a pipe. Sure, it doesn't have a swimming pool or a cinema, but you know, you'll survive, so hurrah! A company called Atlas sells corrugated iron pipes that are designed to be buried 20 feet underground. The pipe comes complete with bunk beds, toilets, and low voltage electricity. They also have water and fuel storing abilities as well. Also, you can have optional TVs and solar panels. Personally, I don't need a pool or a cinema. I will be waiting out the nuclear apocalypse in a pipe. That pipe is actually bigger than my first flat in London, like actually no joke. So, if you're not looking for company, if you're more of a lone wolf who'd rather wait out the nuclear apocalypse alone, have no fear, the Bull Bunker is here for you at number 3. Known as the Kungal Bunker, this one-man retreat is a spherical structure that sleeps one. There really isn't a lot of space here, but you would just about be okay for a week in hiding. This is just around enough time for the nuclear dust to settle. Neon at number 2. I love me some neon. If blacklight neon adventures are your bag, then get yourself to this Swedish bunker. 100 meters deep in the mountain in Boden, northern Sweden, this property was built during the post-Cold War period. Luckily, it has not yet had to survive an attack, but it could. If an attack was imminent, those hiding out in this bunker could pass the time with a few rounds of laser tag. Yes, there is a laser tag floor. Also, there's a Star Wars themed floor because cool. Apparently there's also a detention center in case you come across any enemies or you just fancy some roleplay. Nuclear roleplay, my favorite. The bunker has gas filters and is said to be entirely self-sufficient in terms of energy and water supplies. I'm all about the red vibes here as well. Cool, and laser tag. Yes. I would totally live in our number 1 bunker forever for many reasons, and you're gonna see why. Meet this secret Las Vegas underground terrace. Okay, the first thing I love about this bunker is that it's made to replicate a normal suburban American home. It's 26 feet underground, yet it has the most beautiful 1970s decor. Like, never change, beautiful bunker, never change. So, like, painstakingly 70s. The bathroom features a sunken tub and a pink toilet surrounded by plush pink carpet. Get a load of that simulated garden too. What a beauty. It even has faux grass and you can choose lighting settings so you can have it be day, you can have it be night, there are even fake stars. I mean, it's better than the real outside. Of course, this is not enough. The garden also includes a sauna, a hot tub, a jacuzzi, and a mini golf course. Oh, and a barbecue and a 360-degree outdoor mural painting. You'll never know the difference. Of course, there is a guest house in the bunker too, so you can have some friends over during the nuclear apocalypse. Great! All this lays beneath a normal looking home in the burbs of Los Angeles, and once again, this looks way better than my normal home, so get me to the bunker.